Okay, right. Okay, guys. So, how many of you have heard of this concept called as data structures? Can you tell me how many of you have heard of this concept called as data structures? Any idea? Data structures. Let me write that over here. Data structures. Data structures. How many of you have heard of this concept? Yeah. Okay. So, according to you, what do you mean by data structure? You can unmute yourself and talk to me. What do you mean by data structure? What do you mean by a data structure? Anyone who can unmute yourself, and Sandeep, any idea what do you mean by data structure?
Data structure is a collection of data and arrangement of the data. And
Okay. Okay. Okay.
I'm not sure that much.
Okay, it's okay. So what about Chanakeshwa? Chanakeshwa, what do you mean by a data structure?
Sir, arrangement of a data in
Arrangement of a data is data structure. Okay. So Yogesh, what do you mean by data structure?
Collection of data and arrangement in the form of array or linked list.
Okay. Okay, that is basically called as data structure. Okay. Anyone else who knows anything? Shreyas, you know what do you mean by data structure, Shreyas?
Collection of data is no.
Collection of data is called as data structure. Okay. Anyone else? Any other answers? Bhavana, do you know what do you mean by data structure?
Sir, collection and sorting it out and storing it
Collection,
in a
storing,
systematic way.
sorting in a systematic way. Okay. Okay. Jyoti, do you know what do you mean by data structure, Jyoti?
The collection of data and managing the data.
Managing the data. Okay.
How
What
to
about?
implement, how to retrieve the data.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Representation forms.
Representation. Okay. What do you mean by? Okay. What about Lakshmi S? Lakshmi S. What do you mean by data structure?
So data is a collection of the data and which is organized in structure like managing and storage.
Okay. 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 Fine. What about Lakshmi Krishnamba? What do you mean by data structure?
Sir, I have heard, sir. I don't have idea what is data structure.
You have heard, but you have no idea. When you heard, didn't you think of going and learning it, Krishnappa?
No, sir.
No? Okay, no problem. Right. So, anyone else who want to explain? Sushma? Sushma, you're there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, data structure. You can copy from everyone whatever I said and you can give your own version if you want. That is what I used to do when I was in college. I used to wait for everybody's answers, take everybody's answer, put my own version of that answer. Good, no? Good trick, no? So you can use that. What do you mean by data structure?
It is the arrangement of data
Then?
and storing it in a particular way
Then?
and retrieving of the data
Then?
and organizing the data.
Okay, right. So basically you use the trick. You took from everyone and you gave your own idea. Correct? Very good. I like this. Right? Very good. Okay. See, she's laughing. Right? Anyways, so Kirtana Ganapati, what do you mean by data structure? I cannot hear you, Kirtana Ganapati. What do you mean by data structure? I cannot hear you. Kirtana, I cannot hear you. Okay. I don't know why I'm unable to hear you. Anyways, it's okay. Try now.
Yeah. Collection of data and storing it in different ways so that we can access it.
Okay. So we'll ask the final person. Molly, tell me what do you mean by data structure? Then we'll proceed. I'll tell you the answer. Molly, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. What do you mean by data structure?
After fetching the data, just arrange it in a sorted way.
In a
Like
sorted
tree,
way.
linked list, array.
No, that is
Yes, sir. In an organized way.
in an organized way. Okay, fine. Let me explain you what is data structure. According to me, a plate of masala dosa is called as data structure. What is it? A plate of masala dosa is called as data structure. Masala dosa is called as data structure. Why do you call like that? Why you ask me? Why do you call like this? Okay. Okay, for me, okay, let me call it as not just masala dosa, a plate of masala dosa. A plate of masala dosa is called as a data structure where, okay, plate is the structure. Plate is the structure, okay, and dosa becomes your data. That is your data structure. Okay, so let me repeat, a plate of masala dosa for me is basically called as a data structure where the plate which holds the dosa becomes a structure and dosa becomes the data. Okay, now imagine, okay, so many of you gave, I mean almost everybody gave the right answer, it was right. Okay, so now imagine, okay, so like I don't know who told, someone told among this group, someone said that, okay, storing a data into memory in a way so that you can retrieve it and store it. Okay, storing it in such a way that you can store it as well as retrieve it, in a very easy manner, okay, is basically called as a data structure. Correct? You cannot have one type of data structure. There are different types of data structure. Correct? No, you cannot say, I would use only, say for example, array to do all kinds of operations that is available in the computing world. No, it is not possible. For example, okay, if you want to store masala dosa, right, you have to store it in a plate only. Yes or no? Imagine you go to a restaurant, you order for masala dosa, and they will give you the masala dosa in a tumbler. Imagine what will happen. Can you imagine masala dosa be like this? A masala dosa is there given to you like this. Okay, so what will happen now when they give you masala dosa like this in a tumbler? Can you imagine everybody eating masala dosa in a tumbler? Can you imagine? I want you to imagine, right? Is it possible? Is it possible to eat masala dosa in a tumbler? What will happen that in masala dosa, in between that aloo, what do you call that? That stuff would be there, no? Yeah, in Kannada you call it as aloo palya, whatever it is, right? So what happens is that will come and sit here, right? Then you will start eating the dosa from the top, and aloo palya would be there at the bottom like this only. Correct, no? Right? So it is basically not the right way. But my question is, can you store masala dosa in a tumbler? Possible, not possible? Put that in the chat box. Can you store masala dosa in a tumbler? Not possible? Possible. I want you to put that in the chat box. Possible, not possible? I want everyone to put that in the chat box immediately. When I say put that in the chat box, put that in the chat box. Everyone, I want everyone to participate. Don't wait. This question is not for me. Someone else will answer. Everyone, answer my question. Okay. Yeah. So can you actually put the masala dosa in a tumbler or not? Why you can't put? It is possible. No, you can put. Take a tumbler, put masala dosa. No, you can put. Why you can't put? You can put, but if you put that masala dosa in a tumbler, retrieving will become difficult. Correct? No? Yes or no? Retrieving will become difficult. But nobody can stop you from putting masala dosa into a tumbler. But that is not the right structure to store masala dosa. If you want to store masala dosa, then you have to have a plate only. Correct? Here you will have to store your masala dosa. Agree, disagree? Agree, disagree with me? If you agree, say agree in the chat box. Correct? Yeah, similarly, now imagine you go to a restaurant, okay, and you will ask for a tumbler of, you will ask for water. You want to drink water, correct? If you want to drink water, okay, water will be given in a plate or in a tumbler. In a plate or a tumbler, okay? In a glass or in a tumbler, correct? No? Imagine if they give you in a plate, imagine how will you drink water? Your dog to drink water with your tongue like that. Is it possible? Can you imagine how dog will actually drink water? Right? No, it is not possible to drink water in a plate. You need to have a tumbler for it, right? So in this case, the data is water. Water can be stored in a tumbler, but the structure that you use cannot be a plate. It has to be a tumbler. Agree, disagree? Right? No. So data structure is a way or is a method or is a style in which you actually put data in an organized way so that not only storage, even retrieval should become easy. You're getting it? That is basically called as a data structure. Okay. So there are several data structures for different type of data. Correct? Now, can you tell me what is the simplest data structure available? Simplest data structure available in any programming language for that matter. If suppose you know C language, you can say even C also, or anything for that matter. Okay, it's not just for Python. Anything for that matter, whether C, Java, C++, or anything. What do you mean by what is the simplest data structure? Simplest data structure available. Okay, Vishalini is saying list and Lakshmi is telling array. Okay, now if suppose, now let me take an example of C language. If I take the example of C language, in C language, okay, now when I say int a is equal to 6 semicolon, okay, now don't you think a is a data structure over here? You agree, disagree? A is a data structure. It's a structure that is holding a data, right? Yes or no? So a single variable, okay, can also be a data structure. Even this is a data structure. Yes or no? Simplest data structure. Did you understand what I'm saying? Even this is basically your simplest data structure. Okay, you have a single variable. Now if you want to store group of elements, then what is that you will go for? You in C language you go with something called as an array, correct? No, so even this is basically a data structure. Okay, and then if suppose you want to organize data in a specific manner, okay, that is last in first out, then you actually basically design your own data structure using a concept called as stack. Okay, if suppose you want a data structure in C language which has to contain members of various data types, then you go for something called as a structure. Yes or no? Even that is basically a data type. I mean, that is also a kind of data structure. Yes or no? Right? Then you have stack, then you have linked list. Okay, then you have maps. Okay, then you have a lot of other things like that. You have trees, right? All these are actually called as your data structures, and each data structure is used for specific purposes. Got it or not? Yes or no? Okay, so let me basically make let me make a list over here. Okay, a single variable will also be a data structure. This is one of the simplest. Single variable which holds a data, okay, is called as a data structure. Okay, second one, then you can say arrays is also a data structure. Okay, then what do you have? You can have stack as a data structure. Okay, and then you have what? You will have queues. Okay, QUE, even this one is your data structure. Okay, then you will have list. List is also a data structure. In list also there are different types. Okay, then you have something called as trees. Trees is also a data structure. Then you have something called as maps. Maps is also a data structure. Okay, then you have sets. Okay, set is also your data structure. Then you have something called as dictionaries. Okay, Python has dictionaries. Okay, even this is called as your data structure, right? So there are so many data structures available. Okay, so what basically do you mean by data structure? That is an implementation or a logic, okay, using the concepts of a particular programming language where you design this to actually store data in some form or the other, so that the storage can also be the storage is also easy and the retrieval also is easy. Okay, now for a specific purpose you will make use of arrays. Okay, for the same specific purpose you need not use say for example set. Okay, if suppose you want to store a certain data for specific purpose using set, then I don't think, though you can make use of arrays, I don't think it is really needed to make use of arrays. It means certain problems could be solved by using only arrays data structure. Okay, certain problems could be solved only using stack data structure. Okay, certain problems could be solved only using list data structure. You're getting what I'm saying? Okay, so every data structure has its own way of solving its own problem by storing the data in specific manner. Got it or not? Did you understand? Do you understand basically what is a data structure? Data structure is nothing but a way you organize data in such a way that the storage as well as retrieval becomes easier. Got it or not? Did you understand this? Yes or no? Okay, so among these, can you tell me which are linear data structures? Linear. Which are those linear data structures? By the way, what do you mean by linear data structure? What is linear data structure? Okay, any data structure. Yeah, can anyone tell me what do you mean by linear data structure? Linear, Linear, linear data structure. Any idea? What do you mean by linear data structure? If you know, just put that in the chat box. Linear data structure. One element, I guess. Okay, someone is saying one element, I guess. No, that is not Lakshmi Krishnam. Okay. Okay, so any data structure that can be accessed with an index. Okay, any element that could be accessed with index is basically called as linear data structures. Okay, and others are called as non-linear data structures. Say for example, arrays is a linear data structure, stack is a linear data structure, queue is a linear data structure. Okay, so when you're implementing list in C language, though you cannot use it using index, you cannot implement using index and all that, but still this can be considered as linear data structure because the elements are arranged in adjacent order, in adjacent fashion, one next to other. It looks like this. Okay, it looks like this, one next to the other. It would be actually implemented, right? Whether it is array, stack, queue and all that, and it would be, you can access that using index. So such kind of data structures are basically called as linear data structure, or you can call them as a sequence. In Python you call them as sequence types. Okay, what do you call in Python for those types? As sequence types. Sequence types. All linear data structures are basically called as sequence types or sequence data structures. Did you get that? Did you get that? Yes, no? Okay, right? Yeah, so in Python we have three kinds of sequence data structures. What are they? One is called as list. Okay, second one is called as a tuple. Okay, and third one is called as your string. We have three important kinds of sequence data structures. One is list, the other one is tuple, and then you have something called as string. Okay, in this, list is mutable, okay, and tuple and string are immutable. Tuple and string are immutable. Did you get that? Now, what do you mean by mutable? What do you mean by mutable? I think I've explained you this. What do you mean by mutable? Mutable are those whose elements can be changed, whose memory locations could be changed. You can edit those memory locations, right? Immutable are those objects which cannot be changed, whose values cannot be changed. They are called as immutable data structure. Their memory locations cannot be changed. They are read only. Okay, this is both read and write. Okay, whereas this one is only read only memory. That is called as immutable. Got it or not? Yes, no? Before proceeding further, is that okay? Shall we go ahead? Okay, so today we would be learning list and tuple. Okay, and then I'll give some basic example of strings. Okay, and then over a period of time, that is in the upcoming chapters, in detail we would be discussing about strings. Is that okay? For now, let us focus only on list and tuple. I'll give you lot of examples. I want you to practice. Trust me, there is no need to go and refer any textbook, not needed. All the programs are given in this material itself. Is that okay? Shall we go ahead? Okay. Before that, I just wanted to know if I can actually see your screen or something. Is it possible if in Zoom, if I can actually see your screen? If suppose I ask you to write something, I want to see. How do I do that? Is it possible? How do I do that? I'm not sure. Never done that before. So okay, I don't know how to do it. Do you know anyone to do that? Yeah, that option is there. Okay, right. Okay, fine. Let me, sharing the screen is there, but okay, let me try that. Let me see that. Okay, right. Okay, now we'll move to the topic. Yeah, open the material. Okay, so this is basically an example for your sequence types. This is a lesson 6. We'll be discussing this in detail for now. Okay, stop me if you have any doubts anywhere. Right. Wait 1 second. Give me a moment. System has become 1 second. Okay. Right. Okay. So what is this called as now? So list is basically a linear mutable data structure. Tuple is a linear mutable data structure. Okay. And 1 second. Yeah, 1 second. Give me a moment. I'll just save it off because give me a moment. Save as. Okay. So, okay. No problem. Right. No problem. Okay. So tuple is a linear mutable data structure and sequences follow zero-based indexing. Is that okay? It looks like this. I mean, in memory, it may not look like this, but this is only for a representation. How it looks in memory is completely dependent on how the Python implementer has decided to put that into memory. We are not bothered. But for now, for our observation or for our understanding, I've just put our data structures, that is our list and tuple, to look like this. But it is basically zero-based. It starts from zero-based indexing. Python allows us to retrieve data based on indexing. Is that okay? But it is not how, if suppose just because you see boxes over here in the material, it doesn't mean that in the memory also it is just adjacent like this only. Okay, so it depends on the Python implementer how it has been implemented, but we are not really bothered how it is stored in memory, because we need not even look at the memory, because everything has been done for us by Python. Okay, so but still, for our understanding, I just put the data structure like this. Okay, so if you understand this representation, it is more than enough. So don't go and bother how it is implemented and all that. That is not under our control. Having said that, the first program is every list would be, the elements in a list, okay, would be enclosed within your square brackets like this, and each and every element would be separated by a comma, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and here ints, this is not any keyword, this is the name that I've given to the list, like how you give a is equal to 6 for your normal variable. Like that, I've given you the name as ints, because this list is storing 3 integer values. That is why I named it as ints. Therefore ints is basically a list, okay, of how many elements. Can that put that in the chat box? Ints is a list of how many elements? Put that in the chat box. How many elements? 3 elements, right? Okay. Now in an array, normally in an array, you can actually store elements of similar data type, right? In an array, right? In C language and all that, in an array, you can always store element of a single data type, right? Okay. That is, they're all homogeneous, right? Whereas list or tuple in Python are heterogeneous. It means you can store elements of different data types together. Okay, and you need not even bother about how it is represented and all that. Internally everything is taken care by the Python for us. Okay, so the first example is a list of integers separated by a comma. Okay, and the second example is basically a list of strings separated by a comma. ABC is a string, DF is a string, GHI is a string. Okay, this third one, it is basically all floats. And if you see the fourth example, it is basically mixed. I have integer, I have string, and I have a float all put together. Okay, and then empty. I can also have an empty list over here. Now can you tell me what is the output of this? Can you tell me what is the output of this? Can you tell me the output of this? Put the chat box. What will be the output? This is a simple example. This is a simple example to show you how list could be created using, okay, your square brackets, right? Okay, now let us actually see the example. Okay, is this the same example? Is this the same example? Yes, no? Put that in the chat box. Is the same example? Give me a moment. Yeah, is it the same example? Yeah. So if it is the same example, then what is it? Yeah, okay, right. So let me run this code, Python 3 1.py. So you can see it exactly prints the same format, in the same form, how it has been declared. Is that okay? You want to take notes of this, or you will practice it after the class? I think you can type it and practice it after the class. Is that okay? Right? Yeah, nothing to write down and all that. There are so many programs you cannot write down. Just know that it prints exactly like this, right? Now, the second example is I want you to draw the diagram for this. Can you draw a diagram for this list? Okay, how does it look like? First one, original 1, 2, 3. So let me draw a diagram for this. The list may look like this. Okay, and 1, 2, and 3. Indexing starts from 0, 1, and 2. Okay, now having said that, after doing L2 of 5, okay, what will happen? Now, first of all, is this possible in a list? Can we edit the memory location of a list? Possible, not possible? Put them in the chat box. Possible, not possible? Possible, not possible? Put that in the chat box. It is possible. Why it is possible? It is possible, right? Why is it possible? Because list is mutable. So this would be possible. So it starts. So which value would change? Which value would change? Tell me which value would change out of all these things? Exactly. 3 would be replaced by 5, right? So 3 would be replaced by 5. Okay. So I will edit that only. Okay. So 3 would be replaced, 1 second. 3 would be replaced by 5. Okay. Now what will happen? Next one. Okay. Del is a keyword to delete an object, right? Del of L of 1, list of 1. I want to delete. So what will be the, how will the data structure look now after deleting the second element? How does it look? Okay. So the first, that is the 1th object would get deleted, right? So this would get deleted, and therefore the element would look like this. Okay. Okay. Let me write it from first. Okay. The element would look like this, right? Only 2 would be there, 0 and 1, and 1 and 3, 1 and 5 would be there, correct? Is that okay? First it was 1, 2, 3. This 3 was replaced by 5. Okay. And then I delete the first one. Okay. That is 1, 2. And the resultant would be 1 and 5. Is that okay? Right. Yes, no. Who did not understand? Say I did not understand, so that I can. Did you understand this? You understand this? You want me to write it once again? Do you want me to write it once again? Yeah. Do you want me to write it once again? Yeah. Listen. Okay. Guys, don't write it down there. Okay, so it is it will get delayed, so don't write down over there. So just listen, see here. Okay, so what you have initially, what was there? Okay, you had 1, okay, you had 2, and then you had 3, correct? So therefore this is 0, this is 1, and this is 2, right? Then what did I do? I did L2 of 5. That is, I try to replace the second element with 5. What is the second? I mean the third element. It's starting from, the index is starting from 0, right? So 0, 1, 2. So this one I'm changing it to 5, correct? So when I change it to 5, what will happen? This 3 would get replaced with 5. Is this okay? Is this okay? Supreet, did you understand this? Yes, no? Supreet, did you understand? I repeated. Yes, no? Yeah? Okay. Now second one. Delete L of 1. I want to delete this. Correct? Okay. Now if I delete this, what will happen? This object would be removed from the memory, and this automatically will become like this. Okay. So that is 0 and 1. It will become 1 and 5. Okay. Is this okay? Just say okay if you're okay with this. Right? You can delete it. Okay. Okay. Right. Now what is this one telling you? L dot insert at the second location 5. Insert at the second location 5. Right now, that is 2 in the in the what is that? Delete 1 happened, then insert in the second location 0 1 2. Right? So in second location add 5. So what will happen? I'll have one more 5 over here in the second location. Is that okay? Is that okay with this one? Insert 2 comma 5. Yes. Yes, no, just put that in the chat box. If you're okay, put that in the chat box. Okay. Next, append 6. Append means what? I can actually append 6 over here. Another. This is appending. Okay. Then sort, what will happen? This would be sorted. This would get sorted. Anyways, it is in sorted order. Yeah, this would get actually sorted, right? Then when you say reverse, this would be reversed. I would show you practically. Don't worry. This would reverse. Okay. And when you say sort, it will actually sort in the reverse order. So if you want to sort in reverse order, you are supposed to give this parameter reverse is equal to true. So that it will reverse in the reverse order. Shall we see the output of this program? Let me see if there is anything else to be done. No. Shall we see this? How it works? Let me see if I have. Let me see if I have the code for it. Return. Okay, so vi tool dot. Okay, no, I think I don't have the code for it. Okay, Python 3. Okay, we'll just copy that one by one and see. Okay, so first we'll try L2 of 5. L2 of 5, and then I'll try to print. So is that okay? 1 to 5 is 1 to 5 over. Okay, so 1 to 5 over. Then I'll delete this L of 1. I'll delete L of 1. Again, I'll try to print this 1 5. I got the output. Okay, and the third one I'll insert in the second position 5. So I get 1 5 5. I insert it. Okay, then what I'll do, I'll append 6 to it. Let me append. Okay, append, and then say L 1 5 5 6. It got appended. Okay, then I'll sort it. It is in the same order because it's already sorted. Okay, so then I'll do a reverse. On this, it got reversed. Okay, and then I'll sort it in reverse order. So it will sort in the reverse order. Okay, so this proves that the list is basically mutable. It means I can change the contents of the list. It means I can go and edit the memory location where, I mean, the list is stored, the elements of the list. So that is why you call list as a mutable, linear mutable data structure. Is that okay? Is that okay? Yes, I want you to practice it after the session. Only then you will understand it. Here I am practicing it. Did you get that? Yeah. Shall we go to the next one? Shall we go to the next one? Yeah. Now, yeah. Who is this?
Sandeep here.
Yeah, Sandeep, tell me.
Sort means it will sort in ascending order like that, or how it?
Yeah, the first one would sort in ascending order. If you want it in the reverse order, say reverse is equal to true. So it will reverse. It will sort it in the reverse order.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. By the way, I just give you one example. I mean, out of this topic. Now, can you tell me what is L and what is sort? What is this basically called as? Or what is L or what is reverse? Okay, in object-oriented programming. I'll be discussing object-oriented programming in detail later. I would take a separate session on what do you mean by object-oriented programming later. Okay, so Molly is telling L means length. Molly, send me your house address, ma. I want to send my gundas to your house. Okay. Yeah, L is a list, correct. Okay, no, listen to me. L is called as an object L is called as an object and sort is called as a method. Okay, I will be discussing object oriented programming in detail, so please don't worry. For now, understand L is basically an object and this is called as a method. Okay, L is an object, reverse is a method. L is an object, sort is a method. So what object is L? L is a list object. Okay, and I am calling the sort method of the list object. You understanding it? Okay, so what is object, what is method, what is all those things I'll be discussing later. So in the design terms, you call method as a behavior, okay, and object is object only. Okay, so I'm calling the sort behavior of the list object. L is basically an object, sort is basically a method of list object. Okay, so give me some more days time, that is once I complete few more chapters, then I'll be discussing object oriented programming in detail. Until then, just understand, for now I just told you that L is basically an object. Okay, okay, you must know that, and I'm calling a method of this, right? How it is object, how it is created and all, we'll discuss later, don't worry. Fine, yeah. Having said that, so what is this called as? What is this? See here in the previous example, all these were between square brackets, right? In this example, it is all between your brackets. Okay, so what is this called as? Basically, these are called as your tuples. Okay, or you can call it as a tuple. Okay, it is basically called as a tuple. Okay, so what is the difference between a list and a tuple? Any idea? What is the difference? Okay, yeah, so tuple is immutable. It means you cannot change the individual values of this tuple once created. Okay, whereas list you will be able to create, tuple you will not be able to create. Okay, now having said that, okay, so what happens over here? So even tuple can store heterogeneous elements of heterogeneous elements. It means 1, 2, 3 same elements, homogeneous. ABC, it's also same elements of the same data type, that is string. Okay, even this is actually different elements of the similar data type, whereas this you see it is heterogeneous, right? You can store multiple elements of various data types. So only difference is that these are immutable, whereas lists are mutable. Is that okay? Is that okay? So when you print it, okay, let me see, I'll just show the printing how it happens. So we have tuple over here and we are printing it. Okay, now tell me, is ints a data type or a I mean, ints is a data type, ints is a keyword, or ints is an object representing a tuple? What is it? Can you put that in the chat box, or anyone can unmute? Sandeep, what do you think? Ints is a data type, is it a keyword, is it a data type, or is it an object representing a tuple?
It's an object representing tuple.
Exactly, it is an object, it is the name of an object which is representing a tuple data structure. Is that okay? So that is not keyword. So instead of ints, you can give some other names also. I've just named it as ints because it is containing ints now. Next one is strings because it is containing a it's a group of strings. Then I have floats, then I have mixed, then I have an empty. Is that okay? Right, now I'm just trying to print it. Okay, so I just print this, that's all, as it is. Right, now we'll go with some problems. We'll see how it works. Now can you tell me what is the output of all this? Can you tell me what will happen if I try to change these values? L is equal to 5, 2, 3, S is equal to Subhash. So what is this basically? This is called as a tuple. Okay, and this is, what is this? What is this? This is called as a string. This is a string. Both are immutable. Okay, having said that, when I do L dot sort, what happens? Okay, what will happen if I do L dot sort? Let me do that. L dot sort. Okay, so Bhavana is telling 2, 3, 5. Bhavana, do you think it is 2, 3, 5, ma Bhavana? Bhavana is telling it is 2, 3, 5. Yogesh is telling no. Why, Yogesh? Why do you think it doesn't work, Yogesh? Why do you think it is? Yogesh is telling no. Why do you? Yogesh, can you unmute yourself and say? Okay, Yogesh is telling immutable. So Bhavana, look at the screen. Don't see anywhere else. Just look at the screen, Bhavana. So Bhavana, you said it will change, right? Now, when you say sort, what is the meaning? Sort means you have to basically change the individual locations, right? Right? In list, it happened. List was mutable, but our tuple is not a list. It is tuple is not mutable. It is immutable. So you cannot apply sort to it. Do you know that? Got it or not? Right? It is basically immutable. It means you cannot change the value, or you cannot edit the memory location of tuple. Got it or not? It is immutable. Okay, so let me see what will happen if I try to actually change it. Did you understand or not? Only then I'll show you later. Later I'll show you after you have understood. You just say understood.
Yes, sir.
If you understood, say understood. If not, say not understood. Okay, now let me actually try this. on this? Everyone, just put that in the chat box. What do you understood? Not understood? Understood? Not understood? Understood? Not understood? Okay. Now let me try this out. Okay. I want to try the rest. Okay. So if suppose I have a tuple, L is equal to 5, 2, 3. It's a tuple. Okay. By the way, how do I know whether it is a tuple or not? Can anyone tell me? How do I know whether it is a tuple or not? Put that in the chat box. How do I know whether it is a tuple or not? No, not with brackets. Any other method? How do I know what is the data type of that? I want to know what is the data type of that. How do I know? Anyone? I want to know what is the data type of that. What will exactly? Not ID. ID will give you the unique ID representing that in the memory. ID will not give you. Type. Kirtana is right. Okay. Sandeep also told. Very good. Type. Right. So it is basically type L. So what does it say? It says it's a tuple. Class tuple. Anything if you want to know the type, no, just say type L and that will give you the type of that particular object, right? Suppose I create L is equal to 1, 2, 3. Okay, and I want to find the type. I'll say when I say type L, it says it is a list. Did you see that? Okay. If suppose I say L is equal to Subhash and I want to find the type, I'll say type of L. What will it say? It is a type of str. That is basically a string. You're getting it? Yeah. Having said that, now let me go back to the question. 5, 2, 3. Okay, so this is a tuple. Now I'm trying to do a sort on it. L dot sort. Okay, L dot sort. When I try to do, what is the output that I get? It says tuple object has no attribute sort. You understanding it? It is telling me, dirty fellow, there is nothing called a sort in tuple. Don't try to do. It is immutable. What are you trying to do? It is telling me indirectly. This is given very nicely. Tuple object has no attribute sort. It is indirectly scolding me, dirty fellow, it is not having sort. You understanding it? So any method that is trying to change the, it is trying to edit the memory location of this immutable data structure will not be given in that particular data structure. You're understanding it? It will give you. So let me try reverse. Okay, let me try reverse and take scolding once again. Okay, so that only when we take scolding only we learn, correct? So when we say L dot reverse, enter. What does it say? Dirty fellow, tuple object has no attribute reverse. Why are you trying it? If you want to reverse, then you have to change the or edit the data structure. Therefore, it is not there. So I will not be able to do it. Okay. So if you want to use a data structure where you don't need, where you will not change the elements or you don't change or edit the memory location, in such case, make use of tuple. Is that okay? Is that okay? Okay, not okay, right? Now I'll give you an assignment later. Let me see. Now keep this. I'm repeating it again and again. Later there's an assignment based on this. Let me see who will do that. Okay, right. Having said that, okay. Now what about string? So others you try. Others, everything will give you an error. All this will give you an error. You cannot append, you cannot reverse, and all those. So these are not given as part of the tuple. Okay, right. So now let me try this reverse on string. Reverse on string. Okay, let me say S is equal to Subhash. Oh, S is equal. Okay. Okay, S is equal to Subhash. Okay, S dot reverse. So what will happen again? For string also it says str object. That is, which is that object? S. S is an object. No, I told you. S is an object which is of type str that has no attribute reverse. It means it does not have the method reverse in it. Got it? So you will not be able to use such kind of methods. Okay. By the way, if you know object-oriented programming, can anyone tell me what are those methods called as? Okay. Any method. What are those methods called as? There is a name given to such methods which will change the value, change the what do you call values of these particular. Which changes the data. So such kind of methods, there is a name. Have you heard of it? Any idea? Any name? There are two kinds of methods. If you know object-oriented programming, there are basically two kinds of methods. What are they? If you're doing object-oriented, if you have anytime done object-oriented programming, you'll know there are two kinds of methods. Okay. So in any, anyone, is anyone told? Okay. No idea? Okay. No, not built-in and user-defined. No. Static and dynamic. No. It's a design concept. Okay. So there are two kinds of methods. One is called as getter methods. One is called as getter method. The other one is called as setter method. Don't worry, I'll explain it during object-oriented session. Beautiful session, object oriented. I love that session. I'll be explaining you in detail. Okay, in a complete in detail I'll be explaining, right? So there are two kinds of methods. One is getter method, the other one is setter methods. Setter methods are those which will change the state of an object, that is, append, reverse and all that. If you see in list, right, in list we all change all the data. They are called as setter methods. Those methods which will change the attribute of the state of an object is called as setter methods. Getter methods are those methods which will not change the state, rather only give the existing state. They are called as getter methods. Okay, so we'll see some getter methods now. So so your tuple does not have setter methods. Okay, tuple or string does not have setter methods, because why should it have setter methods? It's the definition of tuple is it's immutable data structure. Its value cannot be changed. Okay, so then there is no point in giving setter methods. That is why it says, okay, str or your tuple does not have. Did you see this error? What does the error say? It says str object has no attribute reverse, means reverse is basically a setter method. So I don't have this attribute reverse. I have not designed any setter method in my object str, because str is immutable. Whereas for your list is mutable, therefore it has the setter methods like reverse and sort and all those. Did you get that? Yes, no. Did you get that or not? Say yes, no in the chat box. Did you get that? Yeah, awesome. Okay, so I want you to try all these things and see whether you have, after the session, to see whether they'll give you an error or not. It will definitely give you an error. Now, I have a lot of things over here to tell you, right? So can you tell me what will be the output of all these things? Okay, before telling me what is the output of all these things, tell me what are all these called as? Okay, what is this first one called as? Tell me what is this? What is this called as? Can you put that in the chat box? What is that called as? First one, what are these two? It is a tuple, correct? They are a tuple. Okay, what are these? What are these? They are list. Okay, right. Okay, then what is the final one? They are string. Very good, very good. They are string. Okay, right. Now coming to this, tell me, these are all the common methods which are used for common functions. Okay, that are used on all these data structures, right? Now, what will be len of s? Len of s. Len of s. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. It would be 4. Okay, yeah, so you want to make a note of this, you can make a note of this, or if you want to, after the class you will try out all these things practically. That is really good. Okay, yeah, so what is s of 0? Index based. S of 0 will give you 1. Correct. Now we have, this is called as slicing operator. It is called as slicing. You can slice it anyways. So what is this? S 1:4. What do you mean by this? 1:4. Can anyone tell me what will happen? 1:4. Okay, it means give me the element starting from 1 to 1 less than 4. Give me the element starting from 1. All these will help you in programming. Okay, so listen to me carefully. This will tell you, give me the element starting from the first position, that is from 0, 1. Okay, from 1th index to 1 element less than this 4. So what will be the output? Can you tell me what will be the output? Okay. How is it 2, 3, 4? It is Bhavana is telling 2, 3. It will be 2, 3. Yes, Yogesh, correct. It is 2, 3. Okay, it will give you 2, 3. 2, 3. It will give you 2, 3. Okay, I'm not writing all those things. So the output is 2, 3. Is that okay? Right. So Kirtana, how is it 2, 3, 4? Kirtana, how is it 2, 3, 4? Kirtana, unmute yourself quickly and tell me how.
Yeah, am I audible now?
You're audible. Tell me.
That 4 has index 3 only, right? So it's not 4. I mean, in the S we have 1, 2, 3, 4. The element 4.
This 4 says okay. See, this is 0. This is 1. This is 2. This is 3. Correct. Okay.
Yeah.
So when I say 1:4, it means starting from 1 to 1 less than 4. That is 1 to 3 only. 4 is excluded. 4 must be excluded. Did you get that?
Yeah. If 4 is excluded, it is asking the value still the index 3.
If I would have said 1:3, if I would have told instead of 4, if I would have told 3, okay, then the output would be from 1 to 2. That's all. Exclude 3, the last one. That 3 will act like a delimiter. That's all. So the output would be only 1 second. 4, right? Yeah. Correct. It is 2, 3, 4. The first one was 2, 3, 4. Right. You're right. Yeah, exactly. So it would be 2, 3, 4. 0, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, correct. You're right. I'm sorry. Okay, it is 2, 3, 4. Okay, it is not 2, 3. It is basically 2, 3, 4. Correct.
Subhash, the delimiter here is an index, correct? You are referring to an index.
Yes, correct. Okay, right. So if it is from 1 to 4, it is 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yeah, so 4 will be the delimiter over here. So 1 less than 4. I got confused with this 4. Okay, so it is basically 1 less than the 4. So it would be from 1 to 3 only. Okay, if it was from 1 to 3, then it would have been from 1 to 2 only. It will get printed. In that case, it would have been 2 and 3. Correct. It would be 2, 3. In the if it is 1 to 3, it would be 2, 3. If it is 1 to 4, then it would be 2, 3, 4. Correct. Kirtana, you are right. Okay. Is that okay? Right. Guys, are you okay with this? Kirtana A, you're okay? Kirtana A, are you okay? Kirtana asked me to explain once again. Kirtana, are you okay with this? Okay, cool. Now, what about yes, 1 is to, there is nothing after that. There is nothing after that. Then what will happen? Everything will get printed. That is again same like 2, 3, 4 only. Everything will get printed. Okay, cool. Then what about this count of E? Count of E. Count of E. There is no, okay, let me write it here itself. Count of E. Okay, so is there in how many times E has occurred over here? It is no, so therefore it will be 0. Okay, now count of 4. Count of 4, how many times has it occurred? Okay, it is 1. Okay, right. Now index of E. Index of E. Index of E. Okay, this will result in an error. This will result in an error because you're trying to find an index of something which is not there. Okay, you're trying to find out an index of something which is not there. This will result in an error. Okay, yeah, so index of 3. What is index of 3? It will be 2. Okay, now I know, I think you will be knowing what is this operator. It is membership operator. H in S is H in S is H in S. So what will this result in? It will result in H in S. Yes, no. Yeah, it will result in false. Now what will happen? S plus W. S plus W. S plus W. Okay, so plus S plus W here. Yeah, S plus W, this one. Any idea? So plus has been overloaded over here. It will act like concatenation. It attaches 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, 6. So the output would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Correct. Okay. Yeah. So minimum of S, again a function which will take a sequence. Okay. Minimum of S. What is the minimum of S? Or 1. Max of S. Max of S is 4. Okay. And then sum of S will give the sum of all these numbers. Okay. Right. Now tell me, what will len of S give you here? Len of S. We'll come to this. Len of S. It is 4. Okay. S of 0. S of 0.
Hello, sir. Sir.
Yeah.
Sir, actually the minimum max value is there, no, sir. It will represent the values or the index numbers, sir.
It will represent the value. Which is the minimum of this? Which is the minimum in 1, 2, 3, 4?
Oh, okay. If it is a combination of integer and string, it will take ASCII value, sir.
Which one? Yeah, it will take you the ASCII value. Exactly. Correct.
Okay. So, okay, sir. Okay. So it is a. Okay. Thanks.
Yeah. Okay. Now in this case, S of 0. S of 0. Okay. 1 is to 4. 1 is to 4. 1 to, what is it? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Then this thing. Okay. Count of E. Count of E. Count of E. Okay. Count of 4. Count of 4. I think it's 1, right? Yeah. Index of E. Okay. Right. Then index of 3. 2. Okay. H in S. H in S. False. Okay. Then this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. And then minimum of S, max of S. Okay. And sum of S. Okay. I think you can try this all. Now coming to this length of S. Length of S. 4. Okay. S of 0. H. 1 is to 4. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. In that case, what will happen? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So what will happen? In this case, 1 is to 4. 1, 2, 3. Tell me, what is it? Quickly. What does it give? Okay. Will it give O, ELLO or ELL? It must give only ELL, right? It will give you ELL. Then would be ELLO. Okay. So S dot count of E. S dot count of E. S dot count of E is once. Okay. Now S dot count of 4. S dot count of 4. Okay. So Lakshmi S is telling error. Why do you get error? What do you think? It will give you an error. Now 1 second. Who said Lakshmi S told this will give you error? Okay. So does it give error, and why does it give error? Lakshmi, you are there? Lakshmi S. Lakshmi S, you're there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Lakshmi, why do you think that this will give you an error?
God.
Where is it? Lakshmi, are there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Where are you? I cannot see you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah. When I told her I cannot see you, she's actually changing her hairstyle and all that, and then she's switching on her video. Okay, fine. Okay, why, ma? Why did you think it will give you error?
Sir, I just I gave answer for the string 4, sir.
No, but that is correct actually. Okay, because when you're trying to use count, right, the string is basically looking for a string and not an integer. It cannot store an integer or not. It's a string, right? It's basically, it must have character, right? It must have a character, no? Right? But you have actually given an integer. I mean, I have given an integer over here. So this will result in error. It says the object cannot take, the method cannot take an integer value. It had to be a character. Okay, so that is why it is. So length is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Correct. This is 5. Okay. Yeah, length is 5. Correct. It is not 4, it is 5. Right? It is 5. Okay. All right. Now count of 4. Count of 4. Count of 4. 0. Index of E. Index of E. 1. Okay. Index of 3. Index of 3. Okay. Error. Okay. H in S. H in S. True. Okay. And S plus W will give hello. Okay. Try these 3 and see what will be your output. Okay. I want you to try all these things. Especially try doing sum and see what will happen. Try doing this sum and see what will happen. Is that okay? I want you to try this sum especially. Okay. Not okay. Yeah. Okay. Now guess the output for this quickly. Guess the output for this. What will happen in the first case? 1 second. Kirtana says error. Okay. Let us, Soundarya says error. So let me try that. Okay. So that will give you an error. Can only concatenate list, not tuple to list. Is that okay? It can only concatenate only one type. Okay. So when I say this, what will happen? Output of this quickly so that I can try that. It will say 1. Okay. It says 1. Right? See there, difference. I'll show you one more difference. See there, one more difference. Now see what happens. If you want to make it a tuple, you have to separate it with a comma. Only then it will be considered as a tuple. Okay, so put a comma. So there is a difference between these two. So that's why I showed you over here. This cannot become a tuple until you put a comma. Can you please write that somewhere? Can you write it out somewhere? If you want it to make as a tuple, put a comma over there. Okay. Now, what will happen with this output? It will give you coconut. It's a simple one. Okay. Right. Can you tell me the output of this quickly? What will be the output of this? Put that in the chat box. We'll see. 30, 20. Okay. 30, 20. Okay. So I think, can you try these two by yourself? Can you try these two by yourself? Yes. Can you try these things by yourself? Right. Yeah. Okay. Right. Now, can you draw the diagram for these now? Can you draw the diagram for this? First you draw it in a sheet of paper, then I'll draw. Then you can compare and see whether it's correct or not. Just draw it in a sheet of paper and then say done. Therefore, I will draw it and then you can compare. Done? I think both, I mean, you can draw either for one, that is enough. Okay, see, done. You can consider it as like this. Okay, and then something like this. Yes, no? I mean, don't think that in memory it will be represented like this. Okay, Python will decide how to represent, but for us, for our understanding, right? You can consider like the 0, 1, and 2. This can be 0, 1, 2. This can 0, 1, 2, and this is 0, 1, 2. Okay, yeah. So both can be represented like this. Is that okay? Fine. Now, based on this, let us solve few problems. Tell me the output for this print, both this print. What will happen?
3, 4, 5.
Tell me output for this. Okay, first one. Okay, list of first one, that is nothing but this first one. Okay, in first one, again first one, so therefore it would be 4. In the one nth element, again one nth element, 1, 1, so therefore it would be 4. Okay, what about 1, 1 over here? In the tuple, 1, 1 would be what? It would be 6. This would be 6, right? Okay, 2, 0, 2, 0. 2, 0 would be 2. Okay, again 2, 0 would be 2 here also, right? Yeah, so 0, 2, 0, 2, 0 and 2, 0 and 2, it would be 4. Okay, and 0 and 2 would be again, what is that? 0 and 2, again this also is 4. Okay, you get that? So representation is important. If you get the representation, the rest would be easy, right? Yeah, now I want you to do this. Let me see who can actually do this program. Okay, finding average score of first subject of the class. Suppose I give you a list of student list, okay, like this, or student marks. Imagine it is like this. Student marks I'm giving. Student marks is equal to, in a tuple or in a list, I'll give you in a list. Okay, so it would be say, how do I represent? Okay, so let me say 85, 95, okay, and 65. This is one mark. I mean, for one student. Next, I'll give you 95, okay, 65, and 75. Okay, so this is another student. Okay, and the third student, I'll give the marks as say, say 85, okay, 75, and 65. Okay, so this is student 1. This is student 1. This is student 2. And this is student 3. Okay, student 3. These are individual marks in maths, physics, and chemistry. This is maths, okay, physics, and chemistry. Okay, and this is maths, this is physics, and this is chemistry. Okay, so what I want you to do is, I want you to find finding average score of the first subject of the class. So it means, okay, I want you to find the average of the first subject, which is the first subject, maths, right? So can you tell me what is the average subject? How do you find out? it is of the first subject of the entire class, average of the first subject of the entire class. So it should be 85 plus 95 plus 85 divided by 3. You must not use, keep this in mind. You must not use, something like, hard coded values like divide by 3. You must generalize even this one also. Write the code now quickly. Write the code. Everyone, do it right now. This session, right now. I thought you list, use for loop. I mean, not for loop. While loop. Use while loop. Okay. Use a list. Use index. All these, and then do it. Done. I want to do it right now. By the way, how many of you did not understand the question? You guys understood the question or not? Yeah. It's a very simple code, no? Very easy one. You know, for while loop. How do we share it with me? I just wanted to. Okay. Do one thing. I would put the code here. You see if it is correct. If you've done the same way. Okay. Yeah. Shall I? See if you've done the same thing. See if you use the same thing actually. Class grades. Okay. And see, I will not explain. I want you to go through and tell me if you did not understand anything, and then I'll explain. See, I did not divide by 3 or anything. I just used len function. Go through the code. Go through the code. Take a sheet of paper and navigate this code. You'll understand. First you see and then I'll navigate through this code. I want you to first navigate. Don't just observe the code. I want you to navigate through this code line by line. Take a sheet of paper, navigate one by one. K is equal to 0. Write down separately. K is equal to 0, sum is equal to 0 and all that. Yeah, did you figure it out? Anyone wants me to navigate? Tell me if anyone wants me to navigate through this.
Sir,
Who is that?
Yogesh.
Yeah, Yogesh, tell me.
Sir, can we use class grades dot sum of a comma 0 like that? Can we do that?
I didn't get, what is it? A grades dot?
Class grades like object oriented approach. Class grades dot sum of a comma 0.
Who said there is, you are looking, this is not a method, okay, where you saw here. This is not a method. Did you see that? There is no object dot sum. Yogesh, did you see this?
Okay.
This was an object, this was a method with respect to, where is it? This was a method. Okay, sum is not a method. It is only a function. There is a difference between a method and a function. See here, sum. Am I using any object to call this sum?
Okay.
Yeah. Sum is a
But
function.
we can use count, sir, in this case.
What is that?
Count.
Count.
Can we use count here to call that list and take that instead of length of?
Length is used for what? To see the length of count, you'll have to pass the value. No, you have to use it. Why do you want to use count? Is used to see whether how many times this 4 has occurred in this particular sequence. Count is for the count, you'll pass one element and this count will say this element how many times it has occurred.
Okay.
Correct? Yeah, so that is why we cannot replace this len with anything else, this only. Okay. Is there anyone who want me to navigate through this code? If you want, tell me yes. Anyone who want me to navigate through this code? Yes, no? Reshma, navigate, sir. Okay. Yeah. Now let me start from here. Okay. First, who can help me out? Who can help me out? Anyone? Akshata, can you help me? Akshata is there in the class, by the way?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Akshata, can you help me out, ma? Yeah, be on, don't mute yourself, okay? Be what do you call? Be audible, right? First,
Okay.
you have a list, okay? These are called as nested list. You have list inside a list, right? So this
Yes,
is basically, the 0th one. Okay, this is 0, this is 1, and this is 2. Okay, and then you have 0, 1, 2. Then you have 0, 1, 2, and then you have again 0, 1, 2. Okay. Now k is equal to 0 initially. A variable k is equal to 0. The object k is equal to 0. Sum is equal to 0. Then while k value. What is k value?
0.
0. Is 0 less than length of class grades? What is length of class grades?
3.
2.
2.
2.
3.
Who said 2? Who said 2? No, I want to know who said 2. It's okay. Tell no who said 2. I will not eat you.
Me, sir.
Who is at me? Me means what?
Lakshmi, sir.
Lakshmi, yes, Lakshmi Krishnappa.
No, sir. Lakshmi, sir.
That's what. Which Lakshmi?
Sir, Lakshmi, yes, sir.
Tell that. No, me means Avila, You are telling as if, okay. How it is 2 Lakshmi? Lakshmi, it is 3, no? See, first element, second element, third element, Lakshmi.
Okay, sir.
Okay. You got it, Lakshmi?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Lakshmi. Fine. Now, length class would be 3, correct? So this would
Yes,
be 3. Okay. Now, where is that Akshata? Akshata ran away? You're there?
No, sir. I'm there.
You're there? Yeah. Fine. So then what happens is sum is equal to, now tell me what will happen. What is sum value, Akshata?
0.
0. 0 plus class grades of
K, comma.
What is K?
0.
0. So class grades of 0, 0. What is 0, 0?
85.
Okay, I'm fetching this value, correct?
Yes, sir.
85 plus what is sum initially?
0.
0. Yeah, 85 plus 0 is what?
85.
So what will get stored in sum?
85.
85. Then I'll do k is equal to k plus 1, correct? That is, I
Yes.
have to move to the next element,
Yes, sir.
the list. Okay, fine. K value became 1. So is 1 less than 3? I mean, 1 less than 3?
Yes, sir.
Then of class grades will always be 3, right? Is 1 less
Yes.
than 3? True, right? So I'll enter
True.
into it once again. What is some value now?
85.
85 was there plus class grades of what is k value?
1.
It is now 1. So it becomes 1 and 0. So what is 1 and 0?
78.
78. Okay. So 85 plus 78. 85 plus 78. You get one value. Okay. So we'll store it over here. Correct?
Yes, sir.
That 85 from here. So you get 85 plus 78, right? Okay. After that, what will happen? K is equal to k plus 1. I'm incrementing k value. K value will become what?
2.
It will become 2. Is 2 less than 3?
True. Yes.
It is true. I'll enter into it. So sum is equal to plus sum plus. So k value would have become 2. 2 0.
2.
So I'm fetching this value. So this one, then plus this one. I'm adding this. Okay.
Yes,
So
sir.
if you want to find the average, I have to find the addition of 85 plus 78 plus 62 divided by the number of subjects. That is number of students, right? So it is basically nothing but 3. Okay. But I don't want to hard code it as 3. Anyways, let me continue with that. K is equal to k plus 1 again. Okay. So what will happen? K value will become 3. 3 less than 3 becomes false.
False.
I don't want to, there are only 3 elements. So I'll come out of this while loop. Okay. After coming out of while loop, then I'll say sum would, I would have added all these 85 plus 78 plus 62. Okay. Divided by length of class grades with nothing but 3.
3.
Okay. Average is divided by 3, no? Then after that,
Yes.
I get the average. Simple. Very simple. Getting it? Revanappa, did you understand? Lakshmi, yes, did you understand? Reshma and Soundarya, did you understand? Say yes if you understood. Okay. Now, okay, if you understood this, okay, how many of you wrote the same code? How many of you wrote the exact code? Just say I. If you wrote the exact code, say I. Okay, very good. Okay, cool. Right. Okay, right. Say now, coming to the next one. Okay, I have one more program for you. I want you to try this. Let me see who will try this. Okay, the program is finding exam score for each student in the class. Average exam score of each student in the class. It means, the same problem. I want you to find out the average of the first student. Okay, let me erase this off. Did you understand the question? Do you understand the question? Okay, the next problem says, I want you to find the average of this student, average of this student, average of this student. It means you'll have to, add all these 3, divide by 3, add all these 3, divide by 3, add this, divide by 3. Solve that now. Right now, do it. Right now, do it. I'm waiting for you to solve. Please solve it. Please solve. Don't wait for me to give you solutions. Please do it by yourself. Guys, did you get? Did you get? How many are finding it difficult? How many of you completed it? How many are finding it difficult? How many completed it?
Sir, is it function allowed inside a loop, sir?
I have not discussed function yet, no?
No, no, like
Function
inside
is
loop.
the built-in function.
Some like that, sir.
Who is this?
Naresh, sir.
Naresh, tell me, what is it, Naresh?
No, sir. Like sum of print sum is there, no, sir. Something like sum of list. That function is allowed inside a loop, sir.
You can use. What is it?
Okay, okay. That's what I asked. Is it allowed?
It is allowed. It is allowed. But I don't want you to use sum and all that. I want you to do without using sum.
Okay.
Don't use sum and all that. I want you to calculate by yourself sum plus using sum plus manually. No, don't use any functions.
Okay, okay.
Okay, don't use any functions. I want you to do it like that only. Manually, you should only do sum plus what that. Okay. Shall I share the code with you guys? Okay, I'm sharing the code with you guys. See if you have done the same thing. This is the code. Okay, see if you have done the same thing. Finding difficulties are very good. If you're finding difficulty, it means you're learning. Very good. If you're finding difficulty, it means you're learning. See the code now. Navigate to the code. I mean, just you first navigate. Don't wait for me to navigate. Like how I navigated with Akshata, right? Along with Akshata, I want you to navigate by yourself once. And then we will see how it happens. Me too, sir. Unable to apply logic. Don't say unable to apply. It's okay. Initially, see what others have done, and then you can. I mean, other code means see the code that I have written. Okay, and then slowly start practicing it. Okay, Kirtana. Kirtana A. It will take time. You are doing it for the first time, right? It will take time. It's okay. See, before getting into the code, understand first. Okay, what is that you want? Listen, guys. Listen. Listen. Hello. Listen. Listen. Okay, Kirtana, you are there. Can you unmute yourself, Kirtana?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Can we have? Shall we have a chat now?
Yes.
Yeah. Now listen. What was the question that I asked you, Kirtana? I asked you, right? I want you to find out the average score of this fellow, average score of this fellow, average score of this fellow. Correct? Kirtana, yes, no? Kirtana, can you please? I don't like chatting here. I'm explaining you something. Can you please unmute yourself, please, and talk to me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please. Okay. Yeah, when I'm explaining something, please talk to me. It will be easy for me to explain it to you, right? So you told it is unable to apply logic, right? Very simple. No, see, it does not involve any much of logic, right? You want to find the average of this. You want to find the average of this. You want to find the average of this, correct? So how do you find the average? First, you'll find the average of this fellow. After completing this, then you'll go and find the logic. I mean, average of this fellow, and then you'll go and find the what is that? The average of this fellow. Okay, so it means you basically need, okay, so when you're finding the average of this fellow for the first fellow, that is 0th fellow, 1th fellow and 2th fellow, right? When you're finding the average of this fellow, what is that you have to do? You have to first go and navigate these three elements, 0, 1, 2, correct? Kirtana, you have to take this fellow, then add it with this, and then add it with this. And then after once you complete this, then you'll have to move to this, right? Then you take this fellow, then you take this fellow, then you take this fellow, add these three numbers, and then you put the output. Then after this, after once you complete the second student, then you go to the third student, right? Then in third student, again, you actually take the first element, first subject, first marks of the first subject, okay, and then the second, and then the third. So don't you think here something is happening again and again? Kirtana, yes, no?
Yes, sir.
What is happening again and again, Kirtana, over here?
Adding of numbers.
Exactly. Adding of numbers are happening here. Here also adding of numbers are happening. Here also adding of numbers are happening. Yes or no? How many times adding of numbers are happening here, Kirtana? Can you tell me? Here 3 times, here 3 times, here 3 times,
Thrice.
correct?
Yes, sir.
3 times it is happening. Okay, so when I'm doing for each time, I have to actually first I have to come to the first student, then go to the second student, then go to the third student, right? Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
Just convert this English into normal code. For that, I am using 2 while loops. Why am I using 2 while loops over here? First while loop is to navigate through each student. Okay, first while loop is to navigate through each student. Okay, and inside that I'm using one more while loop. That is, for each student, I have to navigate through the individual elements. Correct, no, Kirtana? Yeah.
Okay, sir. Yeah, yeah.
Outer for loop, I will start moving. I would use while loop for navigating to navigating to next student. Whereas the inner for loop, right? Within each student, I want to move to each and every element. That is why I use the inner while loop. Okay. Okay. Let me navigate through this code and explain. Akshata, are you ready? Shall we navigate this code?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So shall we? We'll start from here, right? So we will consider this first element as 0. Okay. Second element is 1, and this is the third student is nothing but 2. Okay. Having said that, right? Now, Kirtana, don't tell that you don't know, you're weak in logic and all that. Just see. Okay. Even I was weak in programming initially. Over a period of time, after practice only, I got to know, right? So listen. So what happens in the 0th student? Okay. Who is that? Hey, someone has. Anyways, so our Rakshita is there.
Yes, sir. So not me, sir. Some other disturbance.
Yeah, others and all mute, and just Akshita, you just unmute. Others and all can mute. Okay, Kirtana, you can also mute. Right. Yeah, Akshita. So for the 0th student, this is the 0th subject, 1th subject, and the second subject, right? So this is 0th subject, 1th subject, second subject, 0th subject, 1th subject, and second subject, correct? Now, I want to find average of this first student's marks, second student's marks, and the third student marks, correct? Now, I value is equal to 0, J value is equal to 0, average I have not even found yet. I have just created an empty list, and then I have sum is equal to 0. Okay. Now, Akshata, what is I value?
0.
Is 0 less than len of class grades? Class grades is the list. Okay.
3.
So how many elements are there?
3.
First element, second element, third element. So this will become what? 3, correct? Length of
Yes.
the list class grades is 3. Okay. Now, should I enter into the while loop?
Yes, sir.
So this is the nested loop, no?
Yes, sir.
So this nested loop, what is J value?
0.
Okay, 0. So 0 less than length of. Okay, I have to navigate through each element over here, no? Each subject, no?
Yes,
so
sir.
If I want to navigate through each subject, right? So where should I stop? When should I stop navigating?
Till 89.
Till 89. It means until I reach the 3 elements, I should be navigating. Once I reach all the 3 elements, then I should stop, correct?
Yes, sir.
So that is why I say length of class grades of I. So what is I value here?
0.
0. That is 0th element in this list, right? So what is class grades of I? Class grades of I, that is 0. Class grades of 0. What is class grades of 0? What is class grades of 0?
The first element.
Yeah, this one. That is 85, 91, and 89, correct?
89.
So what is the length of that? What is the length of that?
3.
First element, it is 3, correct? It is 3.
Yes.
So put the 3 over here, right? Then, so what is J value? J value is 0.
0.
Is 0 less than 3?
True, sir.
So enter into it. I'll enter into the inner while loop, correct? In the inner
Yes.
while loop, sum is equal to, what is sum value initially?
0.
0. Can anyone just help me and Akshata in adding these, okay? Yeah, so sum is 0. 0 plus class grades of, what is 0?
0, 0.
0, 0. Class grades of 0 and 0. So therefore it is what? 85.
85.
85. So initially it is 0, no? So it's 0 plus 85 is 85. Thanks.
85.
Okay. So 85, right? Then I'll come to the next line. Okay. J is equal to J plus 1. What is J value? J value will now become
1.
So it means I am moving here. I value is used to navigate through the student, and J value is used to navigate through the individual subject, correct? Yeah. So J is equal to J plus 1. J value will now become 1. Molly,
1.
say J is equal to 1 so that we'll understand. Okay, Molly? Yeah. So J is equal to 1 now. So again, will I go to outer for loop or inner while loop? I mean outer while loop or inner while loop?
Inner one.
Inner one, because I have to complete this inner while loop, only then I can go to the outer while loop, correct? So,
Yes.
so J value becomes 1. Is 1 less than 3? Is 1 less than 3?
True.
It's true, right? So if it is true, I'll enter into it. Sum is equal to, what is sum value? 85 currently.
85.
85 plus class grades of I will still is 0. I is still 0. J value would have become what? 1.
1.
So is 0 and 1. What is 0 and 1?
91.
So how much is 85 plus 91? Molly, you have done
176.
right? So it is 176. 176 will get stored into sum, correct?
Yes, sir.
So sum contains 176. Then again I'll do j plus 1. When I do j plus 1, what is j value?
2.
2. J value will become 2, right? So again, will I go to the outer while loop or inner while loop?
Inner one.
Inner one. Okay, so j value is 2. 2 less than len of this thing, that is nothing but 3. It remains the same, right? So is 2
Yes.
less than 3? 2, right? So I'll enter into it. So again, sum is equal to 176 plus class grades of I value is 0 and j value is 2.
2.
I 0 to 89. So it is 176 plus 89 is how much? It is 265 or 269. How much is it?
265.
265, correct? So sum will contain what now? What will sum contain?
265.
Give me a moment. Command Z. One second. Just erase this off. Yeah, it gives you 265. Okay. Now again, j is equal to j plus 1. What will j value become?
3.
So again, I'll go to the outer while loop or inner while loop?
Inner while.
Okay. So j is what? It is 3. 3 less than 3. Is it true, false?
False.
It is false. Should I go into the while loop or come out of the while loop?
Come out of the while.
Which one? Inner while loop or outer while loop?
Inner one. Inner
one. So when I come out of the inner one, where will I go? I'll go to the outer header, correct?
Yes.
I'll go to the outer while loop is still alive, right? Now, yeah.
Yes.
So before going there, okay, so I have something to calculate over here. So I cannot go outside because if you see, it is in the same clause. It is in the same clause. Did you see this? So therefore,
Yes.
while clause is over, but I cannot go to the top because I have some more statements pending in the outer while loop, correct? So I have counted this 265. J is equal to j plus 1. Okay, so I'll come to this one. So what is it I have to do now? I have found the sum of 85 plus 91 plus 89. Okay, now but I want to find the average of this, no?
Yes, sir.
Yes or no? So how do I find the average of that? The sum that I've got, that is 265 divided by the length of this. Okay, what is this? Length of class grades of I. What is class grades of I? It is nothing but 0.
3.
Okay, so it is nothing but 3. So sum of 3, 265 divided by 3, I'll get the sum. Oh, I think this should have been average, right?
Average.
It should have been average or sum. I think it, okay. Now where, 1 second, hold on. Let me see where I'm using this average. Am I using this average anywhere?
No, sir.
Am I using this average anywhere? I think this should have been average, correct? But it's okay.
Yes,
I've
sir.
anyway stored it. It's okay. It should have been average, but it's okay. I think it will work. I think it will work. It's okay. Don't worry. Let us see. Give me a moment. Okay. Okay. Right. Yeah. So then I'll print the average of 0th student is 1. So you know this format function. So in this format function, I know I have not explained this format function, but let me take this opportunity to explain this format function. This basically will take a string. The average of 0th. This 0th is nothing but this I. Okay, so what is I value? 0. So that will come and sit here. The average of 0th student is 1. This 0 indicates this one. Okay, and this 1 indicates this parameter of the format function. Okay, so the average of I, which is nothing but 0. 0th student is 1, which is nothing but sum. So average is stored over here for now. So that average I'll be printing it over here. Is that okay? Is that okay?
Yes.
Is that okay? Everyone okay? Right? It should have been average, but it's okay. For now it is sum. It's okay. Well, it still works. Then I'll come to the next line. I'll say I is equal to I plus 1. Why am I incrementing this I is equal to I plus 1?
Go to the next student.
So that I have to go to the next student, right? This first student is over, right? Then why am I making j is equal to 0 and sum is equal to 0? Because I have to empty everything and start from the scratch, right? J and sum was containing some other values. Now I have to empty it so that I have to start calculating for the new student. Yes or no?
Yes.
No. Everyone okay? Yeah. Now I'll go to the while loop over here, right? Again, what is I value now? I have incremented it. What is I value?
1.
1. So 1 less than 3. True. I'll
True.
enter into the while loop. Again, this while loop starts happening from where to where? From 0 to
0 to 2.
So same step repeats. So add all this, find the average, then increment I value, then reset J value and some value, find the same thing. And then finally, each time I do that, print the value average of all these. Okay. And that's all. I just come out of the outer while loop and then terminate the program. Yes, no? Got it or not? Everyone got it or not? The same thing. It repeats. Kirtana A, did you get it? Kirtana A, you told it is difficult. It is difficult, it is easy. Got it or not? Okay. See, it's only a matter of just, trying it out. Say, okay, ask me for a tip, I'll give you a tip. Ask me for a tip, I'll give you a tip. Okay. Yeah. So I'll tell you how our mind works. Listen. I'll tell you how our brain works, right? Your mind for the very first time, when you're doing something new for the very first time, okay, like say, okay, I'll give an analogy of public speaking. Okay, so I found this is a real-time story. Okay, so one of the student, okay, who it's long back, say from 3 to 4 years back story. Okay, when I was doing this classes in Bangalore. Okay, this guy came to me and told, sir, I love public speaking, but my brother, okay, don't like public speaking. Do you know what you mean by public speaking? Public speaking, whatever I'm doing now is public speaking. Speaking in front of public is basically called as public speaking. Okay, so those days were the days when, in my real classroom only, there used to be some 400 to 500 people, live classroom. In the classroom itself, 400 500 people used to be there, and they used to do it, and I used to deliver lecture without any fear and all that. So this guy is, this guy came to me and told, sir, I like the way you're doing public speaking, you don't get scared. Okay, but even I love public speaking, I can do public speaking, but my brother does not like, he's scared of doing public speaking. What is your tip? Okay, why is it happening like that? He asked me this question. Okay, so I told him the real way how actually your brain works, right? So how your brain works for that guy is like that. When I did public speaking for the very first time, okay, obviously I would be nervous. Everybody would be nervous when you're doing public speaking for the first time. Okay, or any activity for that matter. When you're doing any activity for that matter, for the first time when you're doing it, there would be a result. A bad result or a good result. Agree? Just say agree or disagree. When you're doing anything for the first time, there would be two results. Either it would be a positive result or it would be a negative result. Okay. Okay. Either you would like it or you would dislike it, right? In my case, I was very happy that when I did it, when in the 6th semester of my college engineering, when I was studying engineering in my 6th semester, when I did public speaking in my classroom, for my college students, right, for my juniors, right, I got applauds. People started applauding me for my speaking skills, right? Though I was not this good at speaking and all that, but normally people liked it and people started, hey, Subhash, very good, pa, you did very nicely and all that. So that made me feel happy. Okay, so now listen to me. I'll tell you how it works. Next time when someone tells me to do public speaking, what our brain does, brain will go and see what was the experience of public speaking for Subhash the previous time. Okay, the brain starts thinking any activity you do. Okay, so it will go and first see what was the experience of this public speaking if this guy has done previously, and that was a positive experience, and immediately that generates some hormones and makes me feel good about that incident, right? So then what will do, I'll feel like doing it again. Okay, and then second time also good experience. Okay, then third time when someone asks me to do public speaking, again our mind goes and sees my previous experience, how was it? Okay, hormones are generated, happy hormones are getting generated, I feel like doing it again. But what has happened to this guy who did not like public speaking, right? First time when he spoke, might be people would have laughed at him and people would have passed comments at him, correct? And that is actually gone and sat in his memory, right? And next time when someone asks him to do this public speaking, right, immediately your brain will say, okay, that memory will come to him, okay, and some negative hormones would get generated, unhappy hormones, right? That last time this happened, people laugh, so he would not like to go and do it once again. You're getting what I'm saying? This not only happens with public speaking, anything for that matter. Earlier someday you would have tried doing programming and that programming gave you some bad experience. Okay, for the second time when you're trying to do that, what happens, that bad experience comes forward and your mind says, see, you remember last time this happened, so you may not be able to do, stop it. The moment you listen to your brain and that activity, gone case. You are in a trap. You're getting it? Don't be the trap for old memories. Okay, Till when your mind says, see, when you did programming last time, you had a bad experience, tell that brain, shut up, this time I'm going to have a positive experience. Okay, and start doing it. Trust me, these are simple programs, nothing is difficult. Don't tell your mind that I'm unable to get logic. What you say, you become. Okay, try, see others code, see what others have written, try to replicate the same thing. Now after the class, take this code, don't see the code, just keep the code aside and try to close your eyes and start doing it once again. And it is difficult, it is not easy, it is thinking is little bit difficult process, but once you master it, it becomes very, 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 very easy for you guys. You're getting it? Initially everything is difficult. Initially using Instagram also difficult. Agree, disagree with me? Tell me. Setting up a profile, you don't know what is post, what is story, what is highlights, nothing. It was difficult only. Correct. Now wherever, whatever you want to do. When I started a Facebook account very long back, I used to go and write on somebody's wall, thinking it was my wall. You're understanding it? I used to do all this nonsense and all that. Something and all I used to type, I was not knowing. Then afterwards I became expert. You're getting it, right? Same thing like that. Okay. Even online classes was new to me. When I started long back, it was new to me. I was like, how will students see me? How will, now I'm like full online only, morning till evening, completely online workshops only. Did you see that? First experience was good, second experience was good, third experience good. People started liking it, then continuous online only. Now I don't want to do classroom training at all. The convenience thing. You're getting what I'm saying, right? So it is difficult for the very first time. Once you keep practicing it, trust me, no one can actually stop you guys. Is that okay? Kirtana, whatever I told you now for you, and someone else also who said, I'm finding it difficult. You're getting it? So it's easy. Keep practicing. Okay, you should start loving it. After the class, go and practice it. Okay. Oh, I think it's already 9:39. Shall we start? Shall we continue tomorrow? Is that okay? Tomorrow I'll go with a new for loop. Shall we start tomorrow? Shall we continue tomorrow? Not start. Continue tomorrow. Is that okay? Okay. So we'll continue tomorrow and we'll try to do. There is a lot of programs also on list. Did you check that? 11 programs are there. Complicated programs all. If you do these 11 programs, you will become expert. Okay. Fine. I have hand-picked programs for you. Okay, guys. So tomorrow we will catch up at what time? 7:45. Is that okay? Chalo. Take care. Bye bye. Good night. Bye.